Word from our sponsors. Looking for a place to unwind, celebrate, or just pull up a seat with a good company and a fine cigar? Head to Riverman Cigar Company, located at 8984 Watson Road. They're not just a cigar shop. They're a premium lounge where craftsmanship meets chill. From Padron to AJ Fernandez, the humidor is stocked. The sonic humidifier with reverse osmosis keeps every stick tasting top tier. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned aficionado, they've got events, education, and a cozy spot to kick back. Call 314-843-3355 or check them out online, rivermancigar.com, where quality matters and the vibe's right.
Now, Tom, where does Dan from Riverman Cigar go when he's selling all those cigars at a high price?
Making all the money.
Yeah, making all the money. Where does he go after that?
He should head on out to Avail Professional Services. It's based in St. Louis, but it has reach across Missouri and Illinois. They are experts in tax planning, payroll, bookkeeping, HR support, and they don't stop until you're under control. Whether you're a solo hustler or a growing firm, Avail brings a high-touch service with real-world results. Visit availproserve.com for your free consultation. Avail Professional Services, when every financial detail matters. Go see Dr. Dussold, otherwise known as Marty Bird. Huge supporter of law enforcement. Go see him. Marty.
The Birdman.
Yep.
We got knocked out of. Okay. Anytime now.
We beat the streets through hard times. Seen the highs, felt the lows in the rain.
Welcome back to the Brighter Side of Blue, our worldwide podcast coming to you from Colombo's Café and Tavern in Dogtown, St. Louis. It is the home of the famous Seabo's Thin Crust Pizza and Daily Lunch Specials. I'm Danny.
I'm Tommy.
I'm JJ.
Producer John.
Producer John's in the house. Tonight's Ricky Ray reports that the special was fish tacos. Don't quite understand why a fish
On a Thursday?
On a Thursday during Lent they're throwing out a fish taco, but Ricky reports it was phenomenal, right, Ricky?
I think they ordered a bunch, over-ordered, and now they need, so they,
Yeah, that it could be it. But anyway, tonight I'm really excited about the show because it came on and kind of was a fluke.
Yeah, you told a story. You asked a question, and that startled me and JJ when you said, "Have you ever had a friend locked up for murder?" We looked at you like you had like two heads. We're like, "No." And then you told the story about Mike Reid, and Mike Reid is a former St. Louis Police Department employee. He was a civilian. Don't want to give too much away from the story, but very seldom in a police career do you lock up somebody that you know, and very, very seldom, very, very, very seldom do you lock them up for murder.
Yeah, he was a contract employee. He was a liaison from the police department and the community colleges and the colleges. So
Tommy Carroll came in, and Tommy locked him up. Was very, very instrumental in the arrest and the confession. And you'll hear that whole story coming up. So that's good. It was a good story.
It was pretty good.
Yep.
And before we get to that, though, I was so disappointed in you and JJ because he was on the job while you guys were on the job.
I don't.
And
I
neither
don't
one of you
remember
guys
the dude.
remember him.
Still don't know the dude.
I wouldn't know if he walked in the room.
And you played basketball down at the academy.
He ain't walking anytime
So
soon.
I guarantee you played basketball with him.
I didn't give him the probably gave him no mind.
He had something to do with education, so they probably had no.
Yeah. You know what they say? When you're done learning, you're done.
Who says that?
I just did.
Okay.
I don't remember who said it, but somebody smart said it.
If he played basketball with JJ, all JJ would know him as is somebody that passed him the ball so JJ could shoot.
That doesn't make JJ a bad guy.
Let me just tell you something. He and I played an Olympic team with Leishak, and I said I'll never play with him again because I'm just joking about that, but neither there was enough balls on the court for he and I.
Me and JJ were always open.
Did you shoot your way out of any
Always
slump?
shooting. Always shooting.
And both our mottos, if you're not hot, keep shooting until you get hot.
Exactly. No, forget what your last shot looked like. Yeah.
Right. Go play
100%.
defense. Right.
Yes. Hey, as we promised, we're going to get to this 100 million views.
We're not there yet?
This year. No,
gotta
not
get
this
there.
year. But we need you to like, subscribe, and share. This podcast is growing. The studio is about to pop.
About a month away now.
About a month away. It'll be in our brand new studio. We're having desk design. It's an all hands on deck.
Should we say what the room what might happen?
Yes. I'm not even sure what
Yeah,
might
because
happen.
me and JJ were
with the
inquisitive.
billboard,
Tell
with the
us.
Anything can happen.
everybody knows with the billboard. Should
Yeah,
we-
but no, because if it doesn't happen, then we look like morons.
Well, it's not going to be because of us. It's going to be because of legal problems.
Okay.
I'm still,
what is it?
I'm still a little nervous about it.
What do you got?
We're going to try to reenact a Rich Banahan up on a billboard until we raise a certain amount of money. Probably we haven't set the amount yet, but we volunteered JJ.
And I thought they were joking on the text thread. And then I was working and I wasn't really keeping up with the thread. So I got home, like, man, I got a bunch of texts. I'm reading, I'm thinking, I'm actually answered things kind of
You're
funny,
laughing
and stuff. And all of a sudden I realized these guys ain't fucking kidding.
So you're
They
going to
really-
be on a billboard,
I don't know.
and you can't come down till we raise a certain amount of money
We'll
for
set
Missouri Police Olympics and the Torch Run.
for the Special Olympics and the Torch Run, and
We have lawyers on it.
we do we do. They're checking on the legalities of it all.
of you being up there.
And then we are, if it works out, we're going to team with the Special Olympics, and JJ might be taking the torch up there with them.
I love it, JJ. Yeah.
What's our plan B in case we can't do the billboard? And like, can we have a listener put them on top of the roof of their house or something?
Where do you
That's a good idea.
pee when you're on the billboard?
Oh, that's a question we haven't ironed out yet.
Well,
I think we're going to let him come
long
down.
way down.
No, I'm not coming off. Nope.
You're not coming off?
I just go behind the back side of it until everybody turn their head.
The whole world turned your head like cars.
Well, yeah.
So you weren't satisfied with your 2 viral moments of looking in the hole after the car,
You're gonna
and then
pee
the
off a
head
billboard?
guy. So now you're going to be the guy peeing off the fuck. Now you're going to be the guy peeing off the billboard.
Well, if they catch it on film, maybe.
There
Or
it goes.
camera.
Oh,
This could
JJ.
raise billions, if not trillions.
You know what they'll say if they catch me and take a picture of me? Same thing my doctor says every time I see him.
What's that?
I get a physical. Wow.
And it can go either way, right? JJ? We don't know.
Wow.
We don't know where that wow is. Yeah.
Oh,
I know. Yeah. I don't even know where to go with it. But anyway, I hope that goes well.
We'll see.
And
yeah.
the studio, this all started with the studio thing. The studio looks brilliant. It's packed right now. And so we owe the Colombos a great debt of gratitude.
Others, yeah, everybody that's we'll get to all the people who helped us with that studio as it gets through.
I think we have to do this podcast at least 15 years to break even for him, for Colombo.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Colombos?
no kidding. No kidding.
We'll be here for a minute.
Tommy, you have a story to tell us, a bizarre story, a lawsuit down in,
Adams County, Ohio.
oh, it's in Ohio. For some reason,
Adams County, Ohio.
Okay, got you.
Because the guy didn't have a basement, I think you immediately put it in Arizona.
Okay,
Right,
got you.
you know,
All right.
which is a good assumption. I'm not gonna-
Tell us about the case.
So the Afroman, you guys know who Afroman is?
I just saw briefly of it.
So Afroman is he's a rapper, and he does satirical raps, and he did the rap because I got high back in the day. Because I got high. Because
That's
and he
him.
that's him. So, and he's got a following, and he lives in this Adams County, and apparently somebody in their place gets information that Afroman might be selling narcotics, which okay, that's not that crazy. But that he's also holding like minors hostage and brutalizing them in the basement. And then JJ with a nice spill. That is tremendous.
I was just curious why whose is that? It must
Well, nobody's now.
That's mine. But
Right.
go ahead.
I just looked that up.
No,
Like a dog.
hey, we're just going to leave it and see what happens.
Right. So,
Because none of this surprises us. Let's just keep going.
No, wait.
I mean, how do you do it? You're like, this
Well,
is my
it's
space.
not a couple. This is
But
not
this is
for-
my space. What are you
But-
doing in my space?
I was wondering,
JJ?
we don't have them as advertisers. Why are we doing that?
I know, but
you decided to knock it over.
all right, Afro Man.
So the Afro Man is it. So then they get information too that he is also has people in the basement or something, and they're brutalizing some minors or some juveniles. Well, they do a search warrant. He's not home. Well, they knock down his gate. They crash his front door in. Well, Afro Man has cameras all over the residence, everywhere. So he's watching them go through the house, or not, he's not, but the surveillance system is. And you can see them, and once they get in the house, you know, like one of those bad warrants. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, when you get the house, and anytime you do it, when I say a bad warrant, anytime you do it in a house, and you're just like, this ain't right.
Yeah.
You kind of know, and you kind of see it right off the bat. Well, the sheriff of the place, the main guy, he slows as they're entering the house. There's a lemon pound cake on the island, and you can see him kind of eye it up, right? Well, he goes past it, and then they come back, and he kind of eyes it up again, And you just know what's about to go down. Off comes the top, out comes the knife, takes off a piece of the 11-pound cake. He eats this shit on
You are
on
kidding
video.
me.
And then they decide these guys now they realize they're in a shit warrant and there's cameras all over the place. So what are they going
And
to
the
do?
Chiefs eating pound cake.
So what are they going to do? Disconnect the cameras. And what do they do before they disconnect the cameras? Flip the cameras off. They, flip the cameras. And this is this gal named Lisa. I don't know Lisa's last name, but I know Lisa's name because there's what Afroman does. And now he goes, he's not there, but he's on the phone with the people saying, "Am I getting locked up? What's the deal? What have I done?" "Oh no, you're not getting locked up." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Are you going to fix my shit?" They're like, "Well, we're not required to do that." Well, he hangs up on him, and when he hangs up on him, the beef starts. And he goes and makes satirical rap song after satirical rap song
About
the sheriff's, the Lisa lick. And he put us. The song was called "Lick 'Em Low, Lisa," and he accuses
God.
Lisa of being a lesbian, and just makes a song about her licking certain areas of bodies and.
Oh shit!
And then he does a song about it does a whole lemon pound cake song about the sheriff.
I do like lemon pound
Randy,
cake, though.
I do too.
Sheriff Johnson or Sheriff whatever, Randy something or other, makes a complete song about him that he's an asshole. Well, so this is 3 years ago, right? So I heard about it 3 years ago. I didn't even tell you guys because it was funny and he made funny rap songs. They fucked up a warrant. It'll go away, just like everything else does in the world. And the police department, they get their feelings hurt. All the people that he made rap songs about, they got their feelings hurt and they sue him.
That's stupid.
The police department sued him?
The people within the list, look below Lisa, the sheriff, the other people that he makes rap song around. They make and they're in depositions crying. They're in court crying.
Dude.
And the Afroman, he comes into court. He comes into court, dude, in a full red, white, and blue flag outfit with the red, white, and blue. And he's saying, "This is my freedom of speech." And he's correct.
Right.
And these morons are getting on the stage one after the next, and they're crying.
Oh,
They're doing all the. It was the
great,
most.
dude. Have some self-respect.
Unfortunately, Adams County Sheriff's Department gave us a little, gut shot. That was a bad one on us. It didn't make us look all that good with all the crying and whatnot.
No, that's unbelievable.
There is one part that I got to say this, and it might offend some people, but there was one part when Lisa was getting deposed, and you could tell that the attorney was leading towards the fact that she may be a lesbian, and then started even further saying or insinuating that she may have been a man before.
Ooh.
And she came out and said, I do not and never had a dick.
In court?
No,
In a deposition.
And then then Afroman gets that video. So when he makes all these satirical raps, the videos go with him. So when he makes a satirical cap about the lemon pound cake thing,
Yeah.
like when he makes the rap song, he talks about the sheriff eyeing it up first, and the sheriff coming back, and then he makes up rap songs about all this. Well, if there's a video out there, he's making a rap song to it about this case.
Wow.
And that deposition was on there.
That's awesome.
I never had.
How embarrassing for them.
So,
Wow.
wow.
So
They should have left well enough alone.
It was all, like I said, it was 3 years ago. I had forgotten all about it. They were some funny raps. It was funny at the time. And yeah, he insulted the shit out of him. Ain't no doubt about that.
Oh my.
But
Hey,
you just got to let that shit go.
Yeah,
man.
let that be. Let that be.
When someone has an audience like that, you don't want to mess with them, dude.
And he's made satirical rap song after. I mean, every one of his songs. I mean, if you listen to them, they're funny. I mean, not for everybody, but they're funny.
Wow. JJ.
Yo.
How'd we do downtown with the juveniles tearing up the streets, shooting and doing road rage and all this stuff?
Just the one night had a few. They did. I think we talked about this, didn't we?
No, you said you had a plan. You left it off by saying you had a plan.
The plan was not needed because last weekend it was relatively quiet. There was nothing going on. They didn't show up.
Okay.
I think they got the message the first
That
time.
314 day every year.
It was
that 314 days just throws it off key.
It was just the perfect storm with that and the Street Society coming in and doing their donuts and slideshows.
Well, we have a plan for the rest of the summer.
We do.
Lock
Rather
everybody.
not
Lock 'em all up.
give it out right now, but when it works, we'll let you know.
If it doesn't work, he's not taking credit for it. If it works, he'll tell you all about it.
I like it. I like it.
You know, but it's every city. It's every city. Cincinnati deals with it. It's just Atlanta, and we're just one of the cities.
They had
How
it
that
in
came-
Chicago last night. They
It's a
took
national
over.
organization. Yeah.
Yeah, they took over
That was just juveniles, though, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounded like it, but
Yeah.
they took over. The main section down there. The Miracle Mile. It was filled with the.
Do you have any idea what the police did? Did they made a bunch of arrests, towed
should've.
cars, and
Yeah, they did, and Chicago gets a rap, because of the sanctuary city stuff. But apparently, they took care of it last.
took care of
night.
business?
Yeah.
And their mayor, who had an approval rating of 6.8%, did he
Yeah, he's
approve
probably
of their?
mad about it.
Is he mad about
he's
it, or
probably
is he?
mad. Sure, he's
They probably lied to him about it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Mayor Brandon Johnson.
He's terrible.
Mayor of the United States.
We did have one. Might have talked about it. We had one parent that refused to come get their kid.
You still got him in your car?
Yeah, he's handcuffed in the back of one of my guys' cars. Yeah.
Right.
No, what
happens there?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I was rather not ask. But
Because otherwise you'd be doing stuff.
actually, I think I would bet that we took him home and then turned him over and gave her all the summons.
Yeah,
Yep.
give her a summons. I would hope so.
Yep.
Yeah, that has to happen. Wow. Time for a word from our sponsors, JJ. If you need some serious security, who do you go to?
Personally, I would go when you're looking for real protection, not just a badge on a wall. Make the call to the Campbell Security Group, based right there in St. Louis. They're veteran-owned and powered by former law enforcement and military professionals, from executive protection to private air security. They got your back. Get a peace of mind when it matters most. Visit CampbellSecurityGroup.com or call 314-499-1121. Campbell Security Group, because safeguarding your world requires more than watchful eyes. It demands proven action.
Producer John,
Yes.
you sitting on musings of the microphone?
Yeah. Pretty interesting story.
Hey, we'll be the judge of that. We always tell you this.
A possibly interesting story that you may find interesting, and probably not. There's an incident that happened this year, like in January, down in Arizona. This inmate, 62-year-old guy named Ricky Wassenauer, he's in prison down there serving 16 life sentences.
Ricky.
Jeez.
And it was all from one incident. From in prison, he and another inmate took a guard tower hostage for 15 days.
Wow. What year was this?
Well, that happened in 2004, the guard tower incident. So he's got 16 life sentences. Nobody got killed in this thing, but one of the female guards said that she got raped during this incident. So anyway, Ricky's obviously, he's 62. He's got 16 life sentences. Well, Ricky decides he's going to, kind of square things up. And he says God kind of told him to do this, that he's in a sex offenders unit, but he hates child predators, people that did crimes against children. He didn't. And so he decides he's going to go out and kill as many of these people as he can. So first he kills his roommate, which is, that's easy.
Cellmate?
Yeah, his cellmate, so... And he was a sex offender.
Okay.
This whole block of this prison is sex offenders, but he picked on the child, molester. So
Yep.
he hated his roommate. He killed him in his sleep. He strangled him. But then he decides he's going to go get a bunch more. Well, there's like they call it a chute, where all these inmates line up to get into the dining hall for their meals, and they lock them in there, and then they open the door to the mess hall. So he gets a laundry bag, like the mesh kind, and puts some rocks in it, and he goes running in there, and he had his guys picked out, the ones he wanted to kill, and he starts hitting them. Well, he didn't wait till the door was locked at the other end, so a bunch of them ran out, because he said his only regret is he didn't get them all.
With a bag of rocks.
I like his enthusiasm.
Yeah. So anyway, he gets charged with these murders, and then he admitted to another murder of another roommate, and they wouldn't prosecute him on it because the guy was like 82 years old, and I guess they just didn't want to mess with it. And I think this is down in the county where that the lady's missing, Savannah's.
Nancy Guthrie.
Yeah, I think it's that county. But anyway, then he goes on all these, you go on YouTube. He's calling in all these news stations and stuff, talking about it, and admitting to do it, and he's doing it for to take these people off the street to repay his debt to society. And then they charge him, and he pleads not guilty. So there's 15 hours of him getting interviewed about how he killed these guys and how proud he was of it.
And then he's not guilty.
He's not guilty. So anyway, Ricky, he'll be going to court, I guess, in a little bit here.
But I don't know whether to like the guy or not like the guy.
Right. I like his enthusiasm.
Right. Oh, Wassy.
Is there a death sentence thing for him, or?
I don't know.
He just keeps racking up life
Well,
sentences.
he's going to be like Raphael. He's going to
Right.
be in isolation for 22 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, and he thought on the guard tower thing. I guess his lawyers told him there was a chance that he might be able to get out at some point, and then they went to court, and then he found out that no, you're going to be here, and that's when he kind of lost his shit and decided to take these off. And he really doesn't want another roommate. And I can't see anybody really wanting to be his roommate either.
No one wants to be his roommate.
Yeah.
But if he weren't a child predator, then he would be all right. If he were just what he going? He was a sex offender. What did he do?
Yeah, I tried to find that out. I don't know, but it wasn't a child thing. But I watched a couple of YouTubes, and he's just a happy-go-lucky guy, and he's proud of what he did. And
He knows he's going to be in there forever, so what difference does that make? That's just so bizarre.
so if you don't get locked up down in
You
Arizona.
mentioned Nancy Guthrie. I just have to say, what a bizarre thing.
Yeah.
Savannah,
I guess
somebody
that's
just
still
stole
They brought-
Savannah's
it was
mother.
out- they were talking about it today.
Somebody stole Savannah's mother. It's 54 days, and there's $1 million reward. So, out of our 93 million views, if anybody knows anything, go get yourself $1 million and give Savannah her mom back,
Yeah.
dead or alive, whatever. But please, I mean, how bizarre she has to deal with her mom just
Right. I think
stolen.
it's the not knowing what happened is what it's got to be
Exactly,
the hardest
man. It's
part.
just-
Yeah.
I mean, she's assuming she's dead.
Yeah.
But she'd love to know what
Well, I
what
hope
happened.
she's not.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a big cluster. Something went terribly wrong quickly. But either way, just imagine laying your head on the pillow and say every night you're saying, "Yeah, I wonder where mom is. Somebody stole my
It'd
mom."
be terrible.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
ridiculous. So you feel for somebody
Yeah,
like
100%.
that. It's very bizarre. Anyway, I'm gonna get on to something this day in history.
Let's go.
And
what do you got? How far
I
are you
don't-
taking us back?
I'm gonna take us back to 1867.
Shit, that was a great year.
But then I'm going to give, and I'm glad Ricky Ray is sitting at the table with us.
He's leaving.
Yeah, Ricky's
Sit
out
down. But I'm going to talk about the best deal ever made for America.
Oh,
Ever.
here we go. Was this a Louisiana purchase?
Yeah,
and then-
that's good.
Hey,
Yes.
Tommy, very
Good
good.
guess.
This very good, but it's not.
Sorry, Tom.
Seward's Folly. Ricky Ray's got me. Yeah, I mean,
Seward's?
yes. So listen to this. William Seward was the Secretary of State for the United States of America in 1867. Okay, he was a Republican, and Russia had just lost the Crimean War to Great Britain. Okay, and we were allies with Russia. Russia got their asses wore out by Great Britain, and they feared at the time the Alaska and all the land, 375 million acres, belonged to Russia right off our shores. Russia figured we just lost the war to Great Britain, and Great Britain's going to take Alaska from us anyway, so let's sell it to America. William Seward was licking his chops, and he bought Alaska for $7.2 million.
Bargain.
2 cents an acre.
Wow.
2 cents an acre. And Russia was glad to do the deal because A, they thought they were going to get it stolen from them, but B, they were so simple-minded that they thought that Alaska thrived on the fur trade, and they felt like it was already hunted out. That's all they saw it as, is fur trade, and it was furred out. And they also thought it was too expensive for them to keep.
And it's cold.
And it's very cold. A lot of people call it the ice box. Let's get some money for it. So $7.2 million. But Russia said, we want gold. No paper check. We want gold. So America said, okay, we'll give you gold, $7.2 million. So let's break down. I did my homework, JJ.
Good.
Let's break
You always
down.
do.
Let's break down the $7.2 million. $200,000 immediately went from Russia to our corrupt politicians in the United States and reporters that tried to put a positive light on the deal so it wouldn't go down. So Russia immediately paid them $200,000.
That was nothing then.
Whatever. So now we're down to $7 million. So then most of the remaining $7 million went to American contractors to go over to Russia and build and rebuild their railroad. Really? So the $7.2 million, and then JJ, several years later, there was 2 gold rushes in Alaska. Enough gold was recovered to pay for Alaska. We got it back 10, 20 times over. So it was the best deal. And then you have the natural minerals and this and that. But
Grizzly bears.
Grizzly bears and fishing
bears.
industry. And also not to keep, at the time we were allies with Russia, but to keep Russia off of it's a great defensive piece of land for us to have. So the deal was so unbelievably positive, but the vote in the Senate was still 37-2. So I dug deeper. I'm like, who on earth were the 2 morons that said I'm voting against it? There's 2 radical Republicans, and mind you, William Seward was a Republican. 2 radical Republicans. One of them said he voted against it because he hated William Seward so much, and he'd only sign for it if we got Alaska, that Seward would have to go and live there forever. The other one said he wasn't going to vote for it because he thought it was a useless icebox. You mentioned icebox. It was a useless piece of land. It was an icebox, and it was we could use that money to lower income tax for our Americans. So they voted against it. And here we are today. It's that would be the equivalent of $175 million today.
Wow.
To buy 375 million acres.
Still a bargain.
Still a bargain. Still a bargain.
So we gave them all that money, and they basically gave it back to us.
They gave the Krupp $200,000 for Krupp, and then we got income tax. I mean, we got taxes on the people that built the railroad over there. They earned money. We got it back.
Kind of reminds me of the deal we have with Colombo's. They give us sponsor money, and we give it all back at the end of the night.
Yeah, and we do. They don't break even. They make money. They make money on this. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of a fascinating story of how America grew and made the best deal ever, in my opinion.
Has anybody ever been to? I'd love to go to Alaska.
Never been.
Drive up there.
It has to be the right time of the year.
You need a plane and shit, don't you?
Yeah.
One of
No,
those planes
you can
that-
drive. You can drive.
Gotta go through Canada.
Yeah, it's a long ass drive.
At the time of this
I'm talking
happened,
about getting
Canada
around
was
there.
part of Great Britain, and so they just figured that they would just expand that and take it, and so we jumped in there and got it.
And defensively, we used to get along with Russia, but now, they're our biggest enemy, and we're miles away from them.
100%. Yeah. So it goes down as one of the greatest. Some of the reporters that didn't like the deal, they called it Seward's folly. They said it's a joke. He's buying an ice box. What are we doing here and this and that? But it wasn't true. It was a great deal.
Didn't we get the Statue
There's
of
a gold
Liberty
mine.
at a good price too?
Say it again.
Didn't we get the Statue
for
of Liberty
free.
at a good price
For
too?
Yeah,
free.
free. Full free.
Well,
Full
that's a
free.
pretty good
Gift
deal
from
too.
France.
One more tidbit in my thing. JJ, did you know the federal government owns 80% of Nevada?
No.
Only 20% of Nevada is owned by the governor in the state of Nevada. It seems to be a common thing. Alaska, 61% is owned by the federal government.
Really?
Now, as you move east across the country, and I'll stop this madness, but as you move east, it's less and less. But 80% of Nevada is owned by the federal government.
I'm guessing all the wild land and Montana and all that.
Yeah. Same thing. Idaho is like 70%. Oh, yeah.
What are we? What are we here in Missouri? You get that?
I didn't look that up. I didn't look it up. The average is 21% of every state, if you average it all out, is owned by the federal government. And I'm done with that crap. Sorry.
I like it.
I'm sorry. What else we got, Tommy?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Let's get JJ Zen going.
We get JJ Zen going. JJ might need a couple Zens on that.
Well,
when
he made
gets
me
on
a
those-
promise.
When he
Made
gets
me
on
a
that billboard.
JJ made me a promise. He's going to memorize his Zen. He's not going to read it.
Yeah, that's a lie.
No, he said that. He just turned the page over for those listening.
Okay.
He's not looking at it.
This is going to be good.
It'll be huge.
I totally forgot it.
Can he pull this off?
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That was said by a very famous person. You know,
Seward.
Dr. MLK.
Oh.
Say it one more time.
No, I've already said one. No, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Very good one. Very good.
That is-
Very
that
well
is
said.
very
Correct
good.
statement too.
Very good.
It's all law enforcement themed still.
I like it.
Unlike my geography lesson.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah, I know. I know it's a law enforcement. I'm trying to make our listeners smarter.
Hey,
I'm
You're
just
making
trying-
us smarter than nothing else.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
that's all
actually
important.
actually interesting. I was shocked.
2 cents an acre. You'd give them 2 cents an acre.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Enjoy.
we got to say something about the Cardinals. Today was opening day. The youngsters got it through, got done. You know,
Big
JJ
victory.
Weatherholt,
Yeah. So on this day in history, we're 1-0, undefeated.
1-0. Cardinals they're going to have an unbelievable season. It's
So I have
going
to
be
say it.
something out of the
They,
books.
they won their opener, so they're going to sell beer still.
If you lose the opener, you can't open your beer.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know what,
I don't know what's
I
happening
don't know
here.
what the hell happened.
Enjoy,
John,
Detective
you-
Tommy.
It's an old joke.
Communities that support law enforcement are safer places to live. Peace. We're
Peace.
out.
Thanks, John.
Time for a quick word from our sponsors. Remember, listeners, you can go buy a Ford from many places, but when you buy it from Schicker Ford of St. Louis, you get a car and a family. The service after the sale is second to none. They've been huge supporters of law enforcement for over 60 years. You get the same treatment if you visit Schicker Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge in Washington, Missouri. So,
When you don't want to bicker about the price on the sticker, head on down to Schicker, where you get the best deal quicker.
Now, where the heck do you bring that car when you first get it?
What I would do is you got to unwind afterwards, and whenever you want to unwind after a shift, buying a car, or just a good night out, you head to Colombo's Café and Tavern in Dogtown, St. Louis, where craft brews are on tap. Solid pub grub, a vibe that says real people, real stories. Near the heart of St. Louis, bring your squad or just bring your appetite. Located on Manchester in historic Dogtown, Colombo's is where community roots meet good times. Visit colombosstl.com or drop in tonight. Tell them the brighter side of blues sent you. Colombo's, for people who work hard and play harder.
welcome back. We have retired homicide detective Tommy Carroll with us to talk about a kind of a homicide case that is kind of close to my heart a little bit, Tommy.
It got brought up the other day when we were talking about people that live double lives. You know, people that by day they're a certain profession, and by night nobody knows what they do.
Yeah.
And I think that's this kind of story. And Tommy's going to get.
Yeah, well, I asked the question: has anybody had a friend that was was arrested for murder? You guys all looked at me. I was crazy. I did,
Right.
and it was the Mike Reid case. And so I'll set it up a little bit, Tommy, about how my relationship for the audience.
Yeah, explain who Mike Reid is.
Yeah, so Mike Reid was I thought my wife and I thought was a fine gentleman. He was a good athlete. He was a little older. He was probably 10 years older than me, and he worked at the St. Louis Police Academy, but not for the St. Louis Police Department. He had an office in the academy, and he was the college liaison for officers and department employees that needed help getting into college. How are you going to get grad? What do you need to take? What hours you need to take? And he would coordinate. Hey, let's go to this college. I'm going to put you here. And he was a great mentor to get us our college educations while we're already employed. And so while he's at the academy, he had an opportunity to work out in the gym there and get to know Denise. He played basketball with all the guys that played basketball. He was a great softball player. And so everybody got to know Mike Reid. He a very highly intelligent guy, and he seemed just very low key. And so Denise became friends with him first, and then I started playing sports with him. And we'd have beers. He'd been over at my house for dinner. I went over to his place. He had friends in Ladue that had a tennis court in their backyard. We played tennis in their backyard. So I'm going to turn this over to Tommy Carroll, but one day we come into work, and every day he goes to the academy where Denise worked. My wife worked at the academy for 10 years. And then one day he's not in his office when he should be. And then quickly, the rumor mill of the St. Louis Police Department, which Tommy Sawyer probably had something to do with.
I didn't even hear
Fast
about this.
forward
Thing.
it.
I still don't know nothing about it.
I don't think it was a rumor.
Yeah, the rumor was, hey, Mike Reid. Mike Reid died.
If I told somebody something, they'd automatically think this could be a rumor.
So, hey, did you guys hear? Homicide has Mike Reid from down at the Academy down in the holdover for murder. So this gets to me. I'm like, good God, and it really shook us to the core. And Tommy, I just want you to take it from there. Take it. What the hell happened?
What was a Sunday morning? We get a call out. Jeff Stone and I are on a call out
In the homicide division.
in the homicide division, and I think it's year 2000. Jeff and I have been riding together for about 3 years at this point. We get a call Sunday morning, early, 5700 block of Waterman. So there's a body in the alley, a naked female. She's very small. We don't know who she is. There's literally nothing there. There's no shell casings, no blunt trauma, no like pools of blood. It's just a body laying there, almost asleep
in the alley.
in the alley. I still remember seeing her and thinking, we have literally nothing to go on. So someone came by, and it happened to be her brother, and ID'd her at the scene, which
Randomly?
randomly.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, when he was distraught. I mean, he was just so disturbed. I mean, he was not a suspect. It was not anything, and we obviously got his information, but that's all we had. Now we had a name, but we didn't have anything else. Nothing. So we go. I can't really paint a great picture of it's an alley. It's 5700 block of Waterman, not Watermelon. The other streets, really, there's no one to back up. It's not like there was an alley and there was residents behind it. It's like a T alley. Those residents really couldn't see anything. Anyway, so we go out front and we start canvassing the neighborhood. Well, nobody sees anything. There's nothing to really go on.
And when we say in the homicide division, you're canvassing the area, you're just going and knocking on doors.
Correct. Just
Okay.
knocking on doors, seeing if anybody heard or saw anything
Yeah.
prior to this. Because obviously she was just dumped there or thrown over there. And I was convinced. So paint a little better picture. There was probably a 6-8 foot privacy wooden fence in the backyard. So you really couldn't see into the backyard of the residence that she was dumped behind. So I, of course, wanted to talk to the people who lived at that residence. And Jeff was canvassing, uniform officers were canvassing the area, 7th District detectives were canvassing the area. So no one would answer the door. I think the address was 5791 Waterman. So I just started beating on the door. And I talked to Tommy Sawyer about this. You know, Randy Sassinger would always, he would get into something and he would dig his claws in and he wouldn't let go. And he would just knock on a door. So I just started knocking and knocking and knocking. And it was probably 20, 30, 40 minutes.
Jeez.
I kept knocking on the door. Jeff Stone thought I was nuts. Jeff's like, hey, I'm going to check a few more houses, then we're going to leave because, you know, we'll get back and start writing this report. Well,
Tommy, I don't want to interrupt, but in that area on a Sunday morning,
yes.
these houses are very nice.
Yes.
It would be very uncommon for somebody not to be home, you know, or
That's another thing, too.
Right.
It was very uncommon for
somebody going to be home at 7 in the morning.
These are the bigger houses over by Washington University. They're well kept. This house is well kept. It's the 7th District north of Delmar is crime ridden as any of the North City area. However, this section we really didn't, because I was a uniformed policeman there for years, and we rarely went over to Waterman. There was no reason to. So this was kind of a bizarre dumping place, but I just had a bad feeling the people in this house knew something or was part of this. It was just it wasn't adding up. They just kept
Does
knocking.
part of you think when you keep knocking and that they're hiding, that they're just not coming to the door?
Part of me's thinking, yeah, someone's going to get tired of me knocking and just open the door.
Right. And that was one of Randy's strategies,
Yeah.
that you're going to annoy them so much that they're finally going to answer the door.
Yeah, and
I'm going to kind of give you kudos on this because, to me, it must be your experience in homicide. I don't know why your gut was telling you that this house had anything to do with it just because the body was behind it. And I mean that sincerely. An alley, there's a lot of houses. I mean, it could have been, the body could have been brought from blocks either way.
And the markings on this are a dumping.
Yeah, the markings are dumping.
The markings on this are a dumping.
1000%.
Correct.
So I give you
Yeah.
kudos for some reason you honed in on this house. I know it needs to be knocked on and somebody needs to be interviewed, but I wouldn't sit there for 45 minutes. Would you, Tommy? I'd just say, hey, shit, they didn't know it.
Is that a serious question?
Anyway, but I just find that odd, and I commend you for that. So go ahead with it. You're banging on the door.
banging on the door. Jeff is kind of getting impatient with me, but that's all right. And he turns to walk down the steps because it was about 4 or 5 steps and then a porch. And Jeff's walking down, and he's like, I'm going to check a few more houses. And there was no evidence to seize. It wasn't like you could guide our evidence technicians to. So he's going to, knock on a few more doors. And just then, I'm just beating on the door, and the door flies open. And it's one of the, it's not open like partially. The door just rips all the way open. And I look and I see Mike Reid, and I recognize him because I knew Mike Reid too from the academy.
Okay.
He was helping me with finishing up my associates at Florissant Valley Community College.
That's what he did.
And I was almost done, and I had a couple more classes anyway. I knew Mike Reid, and I knew where his office was. And I look at him, and it's Mike Reid, and he's disheveled, and as disheveled as you could be without a shirt on. He had hair, and it was all messed up, and he just looked annoyed. Of course, he should have been, but he had blue jeans on, and the blue jeans are just spotted in blood. They're not like blood soaked, but there's blood.
Obvious
up and
blood.
down. Obvious blood.
Right. Speckles.
All
Over the place.
All over the
Right.
place. Looked like he took a paintbrush and just kind of
Got it.
threw blood stains. And I'm like, oh my. And I put my hand on the door and I pushed the door back open all the way. And I said, Mike, we need to talk. And Jeff, at this time, turns around and is like, oh my. And so I sat him on, I'll never forget this. I told Mike, have a seat in his own house, which always kind of struck me as funny. So he sat down and I said, Mike, what's happened? And he just immediately starts talking about, well, she stole my wallet. I'm like looking at Jeff and I'm like, Mike, we need to search your house to figure out what's going on here. He was very cooperative and agreed. And Jeff ran upstairs and came down and was like, oh shit, we need to get them down to headquarters immediately. So at this point in time, Mike and I have been talking. I place Mike under arrest at that point in time, and we take him down to the homicide office. Jeff stays at the residence on Waterman.
How's Mike's demeanor? What's he saying? What's he? I mean, sit down. Okay. No. I mean,
Yeah, very cooperative. Well, he was kind of backed into a weird corner of knowing us, knowing the police are there, knowing every policeman.
That
Knowing
shows up. Yeah.
the guy knew the chief on night, played handball with him,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think. And
I know we're going to talk a little bit later about, where he was the night before, but when you see him, does he appear that he's had a night, like a one hell of a night drinking a whole bit?
yeah,
Do you think
did.
he heard you?
Looking back, yeah.
Do you think he heard you at all the first, let's say you were there for 30 minutes. Do you think he heard them knocks at all for the first 25 minutes, or was he passed out and then came agitated that somehow that this noise was making him mad enough to, because you say the door flies open. Is he obviously agitated?
That's the way the way you explain it is exactly how I envisioned it in my mind's eye.
So he was drunk agitated.
When he opened the door, and when I say disheveled, he looked like a rough night before.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sounds like he had a rough night before.
Well, we're going to hear all about it.
Yeah.
So we end up taking him down. Jeff literally has now. We went from seizing absolutely nothing at the crime scene to like an entire bedroom. I mean, the entire bed. I think Jeff sees the entire bedroom, the bed, and I ran up there for a second just so I could have an idea of when I'm talking to him about what the scene looked like, and there was neckties on the bedpost. There was just blood everywhere, and Dan and I were talking about that a little bit. You know, it wasn't a. Should we get into that now?
Yeah.
How she died?
Well, because what we were talking about right before the show kicked off is that she died of strangulation. correct?
Strangulation, yes.
So, but now there's blood everywhere. Nobody associates a strangulation with a bunch of blood.
Yeah, and that's kind of a false. That's not always the case. And so she bled a lot, and she weighed probably, if I had to guess, anywhere from 110 to maybe 130 pounds. She was very small girl. I forgot how old she was. Anyway, there's blood all over the place, blood all over the bedroom. And Mike he was so agitated. He was almost like grinding. You know how people grind their teeth? He was kind of like grinding his hands together. And he's like, she took my wallet. She took my wallet. Which Jeff's like, well, he told me later, it's on his dresser. So he either didn't see it or I don't know what happened, or he got it back from her. Or she did take his wallet. Not really clear what happened because half the people involved were dead. So Jeff stays at the scene. I take Mike downtown and start talking to Mike at the interview room. And Mike and I talked for a while, and he told me what his night consisted of. And so at the time, he would pretty much lead a double life of gambling, drinking, and going out with prostitutes. And I think she was a fairly regular with him. I'm almost certain they had met several times before. She was probably the most consistent. So she would go, he would give her money to gamble, drinks, and out, buy food and, at the restaurant, and then they would come home and have sex. Basically, it's what he did. And so this particular night, I still don't know what the argument was about. Obviously, it was over a wallet. I don't know if she got up and tried to steal his wallet, he caught her, or if she was asking for more money and he was not giving it to her. I don't know. But either way, she ended up getting strangled, and he just marched her out the house, which was weird because we didn't really find blood through the house. I don't know if he carried her in a sheet. Still never really got it clear cut, because I was actually walking on eggshells with Mike, because I was really worried that he was going to just stop talking at any point in time. In fact, when we went to put this on video, he was adamant we didn't go back to the TV studio because we had to literally do this next to his office. And so I didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do that. I was worried he was going to shut down. So we got a video camera that we used to videotape scenes with, and I propped it up in the corner, and Jeff and I did the interview that way. So that was kind of a first,
What does during the interview, what does he say occurred?
He's saying she tried to take his wallet, and
He's
that's
stuck
it.
on that?
Yeah, he's just stuck on
Does he say
that.
he strangled her?
No, never really.
Oh, he
admitted
never
it.
admitted to strangling her?
No, not really.
Did he admit to throwing her over the wall?
Yeah, she got her out of the house. Yeah, she was. I don't know if he never said she was still alive, but she took her wallet and he grabbed her and threw her out of the house.
Wow. So he skipped the whole part about
Why she
strangling her
might
to
be
death.
Yeah, he kind of.
How did he explain the blood on his?
He really didn't.
Wow.
He really did. And there was blood everywhere. There was. He really never wanted to admit that he was involved with her in this.
What were the neckties all about?
They tied each other up.
Okay.
Well, I'm guessing. I mean, I can only.
Just so for our viewers, a picture.
Then he
this-
put it on and went to the academy.
Yeah, exactly. But Mike was at the time probably a 60-year-old middle-aged white guy, and what was the pedigree of this victim?
Michelle Payne was probably,
White or black?
she was black female. She was, I honestly don't remember how old she was at the time.
20s, 30s, not 50s, 60s?
No, she was probably 30s.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
Did she have a record as being a
Yes,
prostitute?
if I remember right. Yeah, she's a member of the Payne family, and they were pretty bad family. I always told Jeff the best thing for him was to get arrested by us, because the Payne family would have got a hold of him.
It would have been
They would have
different.
killed him.
Either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not going to survive the Payne family.
Okay, so he never gave the details of how she died.
No, not specific details.
But he told you they were gambling, and you went over to the Casino Queen and got the tape, correct?
Correct.
And what does that show?
It showed them the whole night. Them walking in, them walking out, them walking throughout the casino, him gambling, her coming over to him. He goes back over to her. I mean, just a typical interaction, like if you and I
Right.
went to
Yeah.
casino.
Which would lead you to believe that they've known each other
Yeah.
longer
Absolutely.
than that day.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
This
Yeah.
relationship was not anything. It was very, it just flowed normally, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would separate, but then come back together. or
exactly.
something. I mean, 'cause you normally, if you meet somebody for the first time, you're at their hip.
Correct.
You know, you
Yeah.
never leave their side because you don't know
Yeah.
what they're going to be.
And if I remember right, she would go off gambling, or he would go off gambling. One of them she would lose money, and him come find him, and he would give her some more money, and off she would go.
Let me ask you this, and I'm just a little bit off the subject, but kind of, have you ever investigated a department employee before that in any capacity as you're in a role as a detective, whether it be homicide,
Homicide
or
detective?
or the other?
Absolutely.
You have investigated
Yeah.
others?
With the murder, yeah.
Who was that?
It was it Grover? Grover in property custody. His brother Stanley, is half brother or brother Stanley Tapley, was a suspect in killing a guy in the 7th district.
Okay, so it was a relative of a policeman, though, or a relative of somebody in the police department.
Correct, but
Right.
they were living together at the time, and that's where the kilo of cocaine was found in his residence.
Let's not go down that.
Yeah.
Let's get
That
back.
was
But
just-
to answer your question,
I thought your answer was going to be no.
Yeah, okay.
I
Yeah,
didn't
let's
know we
not
were
go
gonna
back.
no.
Let's get to the point. Let's move
Yeah.
forward from the confession and how this gets charged and how this goes.
So we do the videotape, and I negotiated with Mike a long time to get him on tape. I'm like, Mike, we have to do this, and so he explained, to the best he could, leaving out most of the important details.
Yeah.
So, and for the life of me, I know we packaged up all the others. This was 2000. DNA was starting to come into play, so I'm sure. I never testified in court. He pled guilty.
Oh, he did.
He did. He pled guilty. He pled guilty to murder second, and he took 25 years. His attorney was Jim Towie, very good attorney.
James Paul Towie.
James Paul Towie. JPT. He approached me and said he was going to take it to trial. He was going to fight it. And I was like, how? God.
Who Towie did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to fight it. And I said, well, I wish him luck. I don't know what to tell him, but I don't see how he's going to get out of this. And then I think they got the medical examiner's report, and it just proved he was so guilty into this. I don't remember all the DNA evidence.
Well, you described it to me as a DNA bomb going off in the bedroom.
Yeah, it was a DNA bomb. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then
was bad.
That's amazing. And then he died in the penitentiary.
That I didn't know. Yeah.
Well, one little tidbit was, and I don't know if it was you, because I believe in 2000, I know we were in IAD at the time. I was in Internal Affairs. So I came in, I remember it was a Monday morning, because you locked him up on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I come to work, and I don't know who told us, but said, hey, Homicide has Mike Reid down in the cell, locked up for a murder, and Mike's doesn't want to talk to me, wants to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. So then I talked to somebody at Homicide. I don't know if it was the commander at the time, Mike Lauer, or who it was. And they told me the case is this rock solid case. He's very much probably guilty of this murder.
Right.
So I went down there, and he comes up to the cell and he goes, Danny. they got me locked up for murder. And I said, yeah, Mike, that's what I'm hearing. And he says, man, I'm not good for this. I didn't do this. Is bullshit. I'm like, well, wow, that's good news, Mike, because the thing about these investigations and justice, if you didn't do it, you'll be out no time, anytime soon. It's like, yeah. I'm like, what can you help me here?
Right.
I'm like,
Well, you were
You're in
the
for
first time you were
murder.
talking about it, you're like, I've been in a lot of sticky situations as a police officer. That's probably the most nervous I've ever been going into
yeah, because
something.
he's like, can you help me? I'm like, no, I can't help you.
Right, but help you with what?
Yeah.
It's just a parking ticket, dude.
I think no, you know what? It just came to me. He asked me, do you think I should get an attorney? I swear, I remember it like it was yesterday now. He goes, do you think I ought to get an attorney? I'm like, good God, yes. But you might want to think about getting an attorney.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That is bizarre.
Oh, no,
I
just-
never knew you had that conversation with him.
Yes.
You know, I actually never knew you were like close to him. That's
Yeah.
just I'm not surprised. You know, he was
Yeah.
close to a lot of department persons.
Well,
It
he
wasn't-
was very active athlete.
He was
you know?
very active. He was always at the academy.
Yeah.
Always playing
So-
basketball, handball.
And he looked and smelled terrible. Now that you say that, but he did have a shirt on at the time, and it's just embedded in my mind, and it was just sad. And so, talking about double lives, I mean, when he got on the sauce, I guess he turned into a whole different individual.
Yeah, it goes on. You know, the double life thing that's for real.
Do you think it was gambling or do you think it was drinking? Or both?
I had
Or prostitution. It was
so
kind
I
of
had,
a combination. of
I've
all
had
three.
beers with him. I've never seen him intoxicated. I've never knew about anything about gambling. Obviously, nothing about prostitutes. I knew
You
that
knew about the prostitutes, I bet you.
No, I didn't. But I just, the kind of beers I had with him, Tommy, was after a softball game or after a basketball game, a cooler opens up, you have a couple beers, and you go home.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So,
Don't try to distance yourself now.
yeah.
Now's not the time to distance yourself, dude.
Yeah, it was like I knew him too. It wasn't like
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It was very personable, very.
I mean, he's just a nice guy. So, but that's how it got this whole thing. So he got 25 years. He pled, and that was pretty much the end of it.
Now, then this came up, and I got to give Tommy a chance to rebut something. This came up when I called Tommy we did that Raphael Jackson interview, and Tommy and Jeff came in for that graciously. And but after, and then while I was talking to him about that, he goes, hey, I heard Danny mention the Mike Reid case. He goes, I was the investigator on that. And I go, well, tell me about it. And I was like, all right, come on the show. But in the interim, while we're doing all this, Tommy took a stray when he left the other day, and he wanted to respond to that.
Oh yeah, he took a few rounds.
He took a
from me and
stray.
JJ.
Yeah.
John.
He took a stray, and he wants to respond to the Pee Wee Herman comment.
No, I just said it so that make sure you listen to the podcast. I just want to make sure you actually listen to the podcast.
I do, and I did, and I took a shot. I mean,
You did take a parting shot.
took a shot. And I left John Frank out of it because he did his fair share of confessions and didn't say any. Got locked up people. The rest of you three. Oh my God.
What are you saying?
I got
And so
some confessions over the years.
Raphael was easy, but Mike Reid was not.
Yeah,
That was a tough interview. And
Yeah.
Jeff and I always joke that the two knuckleheads with a associate's degree got a guy with a PhD to confess
Oh, I
to a
like
murder.
that. I like that.
You know,
Right?
that was not easy.
Didn't Towie tell you he was going to say that you coerced the confession out of him?
Well, I could
And
only,
then you told him, "Good luck with that." He goes, "I got a junior or JC degree, associate's degree, and he's got an Ivy League degree." He goes, "Yeah, I'm sure the jury will love that."
yeah, that's exactly right.
If I
That's
would have
exactly
interviewed him,
right.
if I would have interviewed Tom, I would have got him to tell me about the strangulation.
I didn't need it. Didn't need it. There was so much
I'm
evidence.
with you on that one. I got enough right here. I don't need-
There was so much evidence, and there really wasn't a lot of times. There's a lot of legwork afterwards, but once we pulled the Casino Queen tapes and put them together that night,
Bedroom.
the bedroom was.
Well, his one spontaneous statement of "She took my wallet."
She took my wallet.
Oh, really, Mike? Who took your wallet? The dead lady in the alley? She took your wallet?
Yeah.
Okay. So we just put that together.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Well,
That
Tommy,
was a
thank
lot.
you. We're not done with you and your homicide story. So you're going to be a regular
Right.
on the.
I guess Stone is next. We got to get Stone on next. So
Yeah. Well, he's got to
Stone
come up
has
with
plenty
something
of
good.
stories.
Yeah. But we appreciate it because our listeners like the true
and
crime
then
stuff.
too is that, and I don't know when this will actually drop, but we just dropped the Raphael Jackson prison tape this morning.
Oh, the phone call?
The phone call with
yeah.
all of us on there. And
Yeah.
I, like I said, we just dropped it this morning. And
Well, he's the star of that show.
it looks
There's
like
no
it
doubt
might go
about it.
viral.
Oh,
my.
boy. Oh,
So
boy.
we'll see.
He's something.
Well, Tommy, thank you. Tommy, what about our communities?
Communities that support law enforcement are a lot safer place to live. Peace.